Today I have a little update of my 65-gallon Reef tank here, and a lot has happened since I set up this tank. I've added a lot of fish in here, I've added way more corals, and I've also added a different variety of different invertebrates to this tank. And we're gonna go in and have a look at all that. I've also added a couple of stuff into the sump, even tweaked the flow a little bit in the tank, and I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into this a little bit later in the video. And to start, I think we should just head in and have a little bit closer look at the different fishes here. Well, the first one, and the one you might have noticed first here, is this tang here. This is a sailfin tang, and I've also added a cleaner wrasse here. And it is actually doing a quite good job at cleaning the different fishes I have in here. I have a pair of clownfish. I do have a royal grama. It was out here swimming just before. It will probably come again here and show itself. I do also have a lawnmower blenny, and I do have a shark bass in here. And let's dive deeper into the specific fishes before we move on to the invertebrates. So the sailfin tang, this fish, I got this fish not very long ago, maybe a month or so, and this was in pretty poor shape, I have to say. Now, the previous owner hadn't really taken really good care of it, basically. I suppose it didn't get the proper feeding, and I have absolutely no clue about the tank parameters and so on. But now it looks really good. I've managed to turn it around, so it's actually doing really well now. It did act kind of slow. It just stood there. It was eating, sure, but it was really slow. And it also have this lateral line disease. And that's a really clear sign that this fish hasn't got the proper diet, basically. So to start with, what I did was just to make sure it got enough of algae. I fed it a lot of nori in here. And once I did start giving it nori, it slowly started looking better, basically. I did also put some medicine in the tank. Yes, I put medicine in this tank, despite all the invertebrates and the corals. But this medicine is supposed to be reef safe, and I had no problems with it whatsoever in this tank. I have quite a good variety of corals. I have got some softies, I have some SPS corals, and I also have some LPS corals. I can show you the medicine. Hold on a second, I'll go get it. Here we go. I used this. This is Uodinex from ESHA. And this is supposed to be safe for corals and for invertebrates. I have read that people have had issues with it, having corals die, having fishes die, but not really sure why. It worked out just fine in my tank, but it's something to keep in mind when you have corals. Generally, you don't want to dose medicine into a reef tank at all. So I just took a chance, and this time it worked out just fine. Other than that, I also tweaked the flow a little bit. I added this streamer over here to get more surface agitation in the tank. And I think that in combination with the medicine worked wonders. It's looking really healthy right now. It's swimming around a lot. It plays a little bit in the flow. It grazes from the rocks, it grazes from the background. So it didn't do that from the beginning. So all those things are good signs. So he seems to be doing just fine, and I'm really happy he is. And the cleaner wrasse here, let's move to the cleaner wrasse. These are supposed to be a hard fish to keep. I don't think they are. Depends on if you get a specimen that doesn't eat or so maybe, then it's probably much harder. Then you probably need a lot more fish so we can feed off the parasites of the fishes. I do have a quite lot of pods in this tank. It's a huge amount, basically. So as you can see, he's swimming around here a little bit, searching for pods and eating them. And he is also eating frozen food when I give him that. So that's a really good sign. He seems to be really healthy. And he's cleaning the tank here. He's cleaning all the other fish that wants to be clean as well. So it's working out perfectly, basically. The clownfish, they are a pair here. Not much to say about these fish, really. They are quite beautiful, very colorful, and yeah, they just swim around. And one fun thing about this particular pair here, I don't know if this is common, but they are actually swimming all over the tank. I think I've seen quite a lot of them just standing one place in the tank, and that's their spot, like their territory. These two, they move around the tank quite a lot, so it's quite nice to see them move around, swimming around, and not just have that specific spot. The female here, she's a little bit aggressive. That's probably the most aggressive fish I have in this tank, and it's not really aggressive, so she just wants to keep other fishes at bay, basically, when she's in one particular spot. Here's the royal grama. I took this one from my nano tank and moved it over here. Same thing with the chalk bass. Unfortunately, the chalk bass got a really severe case of pop eye. I don't know what happened. Probably scraped his eye, like hit something, or maybe, just maybe, the tang gave him a punch or something. But it was really severe. But it has started going down, and it's pretty much looking normal. The overall health of the chalk bass was good, so he's just hiding now. I'm not gonna force him forward. He's chilling, and it's starting to look fine again. So in no time, I think he will come out and swim around a lot more here. Now I also have a lawnmower blenny. He's not out right now, but I have some footage of him. Basically, if you see the backside, the back glass here, I'm never cleaning this. I'm saving this for algae, so that he always have something to graze on, and this is the same for the tang, of course. So basically, he always have a good supply of algae on the back window here, and he's a really efficient fish for keeping algae at bay in the tank. So for the invertebrates, I have a different variety of snails in here. I think I have 3 different types of algae-eating snails. I got the classic Trochus. I've got 2 different surf snails, I think. Not sure the exact names of these. I can put it on the screen because I'm gonna have to check the names up a little bit later, so I can put it in here so you can see what I have. There's no really point in filming them because they are only out at night. I might be able to put in a clip here so you can see them anyway if I take a flashlight or something, and I can film them maybe tonight. I'll give it a try, I promise, and we'll see if I can find some and get a good video of them. I do have a hermit crab. It's part of the cleaning crew as well. I do have one of those Babylon snails, and this snail eats detritus, and it's also a good snail that hunts down bristleworms to keep them at bay. I've seen bristleworms in here. It doesn't seem to be a lot of them, but I do have them, so this snail will kind of keep them in check so the population doesn't explode. I do have one bumblebee snail, because if you can see on the back window here, I've got thousands and thousands of these small fan snails. I don't remember exactly what the name of them are. They're not harmful, but I think it looks a little bit... yeah, I don't really like the look of having 3,000 snails on the back window. So hopefully with time, I think I'm gonna have to add a couple of more of them. Maybe a copperband butterfly fish. I heard that they can eat these types of small snails as well. We'll see what I do. Not a problem. They keep the water quality better because they filter the water, so I'm just gonna let them be, and I don't want to scraping off the back window because that's still the food source of my lawnmower blenny, so I'm just gonna keep it as it is. So the bumblebee snail is in here. I only have one. I'm gonna get a couple of more of them. Other than that, I do have a emerald crab that is growing immensely. He's growing really well. He's probably tripled in size for the last 1.5 months or so. It's pretty crazy. So he's living a good life in here. And the last invertebrate I did add is a sand cleaner sea star, and that's a really cool animal to have, and it's doing a massive work at shifting the sand around and find stuff in the sand and consume it. So that's a really fun creature. And usually I can see it throughout the day coming here, going around, digging itself down. It's pretty interesting to watch actually, and I really think it's a cool addition to the tank. Before we move on to the different corals in here, we can take a quick look just at the new technique I've added into the sump and so on. I'm not going to drag this out or something, but I just want to show that I've installed a UVC unit here. The dosing pumps are installed here. You can look from the side here. I've got the 2 bottles down here. And I've added some more filtration media over here. Just regular CChem matrix media. And I actually also got some, let me see if we can see this, some denitrate here to increase the denitrification here really. And that's basically it for the sump. The biggest deal is surely this UVC filter here. This helps keeping the water nice and clear. Now for the flow pattern in this tank, I've been tweaking this over the last 2 months or so. I do have one little wave maker over here, an even smaller one here. I've put this one so it agitates the surface of the tank. I do have this huge MaxSpect gyre here, and this one I program it so it acts like a bigger wave basically is crashing into the tank, the reef. So it will start, make a wave, it will go for a little while to get a little bit extra circulation, and after that it will turn off and the cycle will start over again basically. And of course I also have the return pump pumping water into the tank through the nozzles here. And the flow pattern is like this, like 2 circles in the tank. So water comes here, and this overflow box, it's placed in the corner here, and this makes it so that the current goes down like this. So it's a quite big circle here, and the flow here, it comes up and down, and there's a circle over here as well. And this is quite nice because right here on the top of these rocks here is a perfect place to put some SPS coral, because that's the place where the most flow is. Here is kind of a medium to high flow, this area, except for at the bottom here. I put some Duncans here and they don't like too much flow, but I think that is all right for them. And over here is the most calm place on the rock, so to say. It's quite medium to low flow in the front here, but up here it's really calm. And my Aphilias here, they seem to absolutely love that. So that's quite nice. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a mixed reef, so I've got a couple of soft corals, some LPS corals, and also some SPS corals in here. And I've stolen a couple of corals here from my nano reef tank. I got some issues with that tank. Basically, I completely stripped nitrates and phosphates, and I got dinos in the tank. And I mean a lot of dinos. It overtook the whole tank, over corals, over everything basically. So I had to battle that. The tank is looking okay again. It's not great, but I decided to take the best of the corals, so to say, and put it in here because it's a little bit safer. It's a larger water volume, and it takes quite a while longer for things to go south. Now, this is my own fault that I got the dinos in that tank. They are gone now. It took me a couple of weeks to get rid of that, including a blackout. But that's completely my fault. I didn't measure nitrates, I didn't measure phosphates. If I would have done that, I could have dosed for it, and this would never have happened, basically. So that's also something to keep in mind. Always check the parameters, and you are probably gonna be just fine. But it was probably zeroed out for quite a while before the dinos started to appear, and by that time it is already too late. But it's nothing that can't be fixed, and I managed to get it under control. I got a little bit of cyano in the tank right now. Not much, just a tiny bit, and it's all fine. It's gonna disappear with time, I suppose. So we're gonna check that another time. And today we're just gonna focus on this reef, but I wanted to get it out there. Everything is not always good. Things happen. It's the same here. I've got some little red dinos in the sand here. The UVC is supposed to help me get rid of it. It's not a big problem really. It's just on the sand, and every night it releases from the sand, goes up in the water column, goes down into my UVC unit, and it will hopefully slowly die off. I'm also gonna get a couple of more snails to try to get more sand shifting in the tank, and I will probably get rid of it relatively fast. I can also do it by hand, but it's not a big of a deal really. I mean, it's not always perfect. Anyway, let's move to the corals. Over here we got a big Cinularia. I took this from the nanotank as well because it was getting too big for the nanotank. It is growing really fast in here as well, and by the time it goes up to the gyre here, I'm gonna have to frag off the highest part of it, I think. Two different types of aphilia here, really nice ones. This one, I'm not sure the exact species. I think it's Parancora, at least. I think both of them are Parancora really. I've got one green and I've got one golden here. We got some Gorgonia. I've got one big over here, and I put one small one over here, and this is growing. Both of these are growing really well in here. Really fast as well, really fast growers. We got some Swantus here. I've got one here, one orange. I got one pink and green over here, one blue-green here, and those are the three different zoas I have. I do have one Sarcophyton here. This is a mushroom coral, so to say. And I got a Kenya tree over here as well. I do have some GSPs here on this rock, trying to contain them there, and I put some pulsing Xenia over here. They are not in the calmest place right now, so they don't have that cool pulsing motion. You get that if you put them in a calm space, but they seem to be doing really well there anyway, despite the little bit more current they got, but that's just fine. I got some Discosomas here, red Discosomas. There's also one under the rock here. I do also have a couple of Duncans here. There are 5 heads on this one. They look the best if they don't have too much of a current. I originally put them on this rock here, but I thought it was a little bit too much current for them, so I moved them over here where it is a little bit calmer. They do get eventually a little bit more current of them. Like, it's a little bit more like a random flow here, and I think that suits them a little bit better, so we'll see how they turn out here, but I think it will be just fine. They look better now than they did over here, so happy with that. And let's move over to the SPS corals. I do have one Montipora, plating Montipora here. I took a little frag from the nanotank, and it seems to be doing well here. Next to that, I have a pink bird's nest actually. I like this coral. This is supposed to look good in any lighting, basically. And interestingly enough, I have ordered a new light to complement this that I already have here. And the funny thing about the new lamp that is coming is that I spec'd the different diodes by myself. So I actually made the spectrum of the light. They did it to what I wanted to have, basically. So that's going to be really, really interesting when this comes and I can install this and test and see how it turned out. Basically, I want it to be a little bit more light blue than this. And I also put in a couple of the UV and violet spectrum to enhance that a little bit extra as well. So that's going to be really interesting when that comes. And I'm going to, of course, make a video when I install that and we can try that out. Let's move on to this coral here. This is I'm not sure what this coral is actually. I'm gonna have to check and I can put it on the screen, but it is an SPS, pretty easy SPS, and it's doing really well. It's branching really well here and growing in a good pace. Next to that, I have a acropora, and this is one of the easier acroporas. I think this is a pretty thin one. The thicker ones need high flow, and this is actually doing really well. It's growing. I can see that it encrusts out on the rock, and it is doing well, has the polyps out and everything, and that's really, really nice to see. It's fun to be able to have some acroporas as well. There's another acropora here, and this is a blue one. I'm not sure about the names of these. There's so many names on the coral, so I can't keep track of everything. Down here we have I think it's a ceratopora. Not sure. I'm going to check that as well and put it on the screen if I find out what it is. Maybe it's a stylophora actually. Not sure. Also doing really well. Also took that from the nanotank. Growing really well. And up here there's another Montipora. This is supposed to be a green Montipora with purple polyps. It didn't do well when I got the dino, so I decided to put it out and move it over here to spare it from a potential second blackout. But it is really pale. It's like gray in color, supposed to be green, but the polyps are actually purple, and it has all the polyps out. So I think this will recover with time, and it will probably look absolutely fine. And this is pretty much the corals I have in the tank currently. There are a couple of more corals coming, 3 different varieties, and I'll of course make a video of that as well, and where I place them. I think that's going to complement the corals really well. I'm going to finish by giving my tang here some nuri, because he absolutely loves that. He's always coming. He's not scared at all. He just comes and starts eating instantly. And I'm going to start making videos about more specific stuff around the tank, I think. So if it is anything you want to know, how I do it, or can be basically anything, just leave a comment in the comment section and I will try to cover that. And that's everything I had for today, and I hope I'll see you soon.